My name is Devin Johnson, serial entrepreneur and tech CEO. I have started 7 total businesses. I have failed at 4. I have sold 2. I'm currently running arguably my most successful one, which is Sales AI. And today I'm going to walk through 6 steps on how to avoid failure in your startups. Knowing that I have failed in 4 in the beginning, I've learned some very key lessons. I want to bring you that knowledge here today. Number 1, start small, think big. And it's also very important that you remove comparison in the early days of starting your business. We all get on Instagram, we look at someone's flying their private jet or driving their Lambo and so on and so forth. And you just started, so you're very frustrated. Why can't I get there? Why is this taking so long? It's hard. And you're making all these sacrifices and you're going without pay, et cetera, like been there, done that. I get it. I suggest you to remove the comparison and start small, meaning one product, one channel, one solution to one audience, right? So whatever you want to do, just keep it very simple. So let's say you want to get into selling, widgets online. One widget that you sell through Facebook ads, that you sell to one main audience and you solve one main problem. Keep it very simple, but think big. Get motivated. Have the vision board. Be inspired by financial, goals and materialistic items. That's all okay. That's what motivated me. But do not compare yourself. It's also important to note, most of the people you're following on Instagram, they've been in business 10, 15, 20 years, right? You're in year 1 or year 2 or year 3. Put another 10 years of experience of trying to build businesses and running businesses. You will figure it out. It's just like working out. Time under tension is when the muscle is made. So when you're spending that time, building that muscle of running businesses, you will figure it out. Right? You're not going to do something for 10 years and still suck at it. I can almost guarantee that. Now, number 2, seek mentorship early. What better way to learn than from someone that has already achieved what you want to achieve? And so every city, I don't care where you live, where you're from, you have someone that has been successful in business that you can learn from. Here's a little golden nugget on how to find possible mentors early in your journey. If you live in the United States and you're watching this, every state and every city has something called a BNI chapter and a Gold Star chapter. These are small business networking groups of CEOs, and they're very affordable to get into. I believe BNI is somewhere around $500 a year. Gold Star is around $250 a year. These are entrepreneurs and CEOs that are building businesses in your community. You also have, with a little more advanced business owners in every city, you have something called YPO, which is Young Presidents Organization. Now, to qualify to actually be a member, you do have to have 150 employees or 10 million in revenue, but they have free events for smaller businesses that you can get around and start to meet the entrepreneurs that are crushing it in your city. And that's called YPO. Every city has a chapter, and it's nationwide. I also like to shoot my shot on Instagram. I like to send Instagram DMs. I like to send 5 to 10 a day of people in my industry that are ahead of me that I can try to learn from and really start to build the network. That's how I've built a lot of my key relationships, is simply sending Instagram DMs or LinkedIn DMs. The LinkedIn is another slept on platform. Every CEO or anybody that's, crushing it in your space, they most likely have a LinkedIn, and you can send them a direct message. Point number 3, embrace failure as feedback. You're going to fail. I have failed 4 times. I have blown through $7 million in outside funding and got, advanced very little in businesses. It's going to happen, and you have to take it as feedback from the marketplace, from your own knowledge and finding your knowledge gaps, and most importantly, you have to document it. I personally keep a journal of failures. What did I learn from it? How am I going to avoid it? And or what is a solution to get education to avoid the mistake again? Embrace it. Just because you failed, that means you learned. And take that lesson and apply it to the future you. You're working on yourself, and that time under tension is very important. So these lessons, document it so you do not forget them. Point number 4, validate before you build. You have a concept, you have a product, you have the one product, one audience, one solution that we talked about from point number 1. Go sell it. Do not make it perfect. Do not overthink it. Get out there, hustle your product, sell your product, and get feedback from real customers, right? Create a beta group, create a test group. Be transparent that you're just getting started, but sell your solution, sell your product so that you can get those wins under your belt, first and foremost, but more importantly, figure out what your customers in your market actually needs. So get up there, sell your product, do not perfect it, or you'll never launch. If you keep rethinking, what about this? What about this? My website, this, that. We didn't even have a website. When we started building our first successful business, we didn't even have a website to begin with, right? We just went out, we used LinkedIn as our channel, our one channel. We did direct outreach, and we sold through DMs on LinkedIn messaging. Again, get out there and sell it. Point number 5, build systems, then products. So once you figure out, I can sell this, right? That's important. You need to build systems, technology, and then people. Without systems, you can't apply technology to assist you in growth. And it's really hard to teach people without systems and tech to support them, right? So I have done the opposite, where I've went people, technology, then systems. And what happens, think about it as a triangle. Your foundation is people, then tech, and then systems. So it starts to sweat, right? Because people don't know the technology, they don't know the systems, so they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But if you built the system, because you know how to sell the product, you know who buys it, you know your profit margins, right? That's the basic system. Then you layer in technology, a CRM, basic tracking, spreadsheets, something simple. Then you can add people to it because you know how to sell it, you know how to get the result, you know how to measure it, you know how to improve it. Then you can add people. I always suggest that your first hire should be something that you suck at. So if you suck at finance, get help with finance. If you suck with organization, get an executive assistant. If you suck at sales, work your butt off to get a sales guy. But you need to build the baseline of systems, technology to support the systems, and then your people. Point number 6, hire for attitude, not skills. Early in your career, you want the best of the best, and I understand that. But when you're working on shoestring budgets, like I have many, many times, it is hard to get someone with the skill set necessarily on paper into your business. So look for people that are hungry, determined, they align with your core values. You feel like you can get energy from that person. That is what you want to hire for early on, so that you can then develop the skills because you have the systems, you have the technology, and you have product. People can then start to enhance selling and building that business. So hire for attitude. Again, I encourage you to have them aligned with core values, and you should be hiring for, a role that you struggle with. So they should be teaching you something in the early days of hiring. So I always like to ask questions like, define success in your role. And if they don't use financial metrics or key data points to explain how to drive success, they probably don't know how to do that role. That's a basic one that you should incorporate into your early hiring strategy. However, always hire for attitude and hunger over skills in the early days. Now, those are the 6 basic frameworks to follow to start to build the business. I would argue the most important is understanding you need to go systems, technology, and then people. My name is Devin Johnson. Thank you for hanging out with me here today. Hopefully this was insightful. Leave a comment if you learned anything. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.